Absolutely. Another great 3 episodes.
Bravo.
Here in season 1 from Cobra Kai. Look at the love on these 2 faces here. Look at the way these 2 guys love each other. They've been buddies since high school. They've been through everything together over
Best
the years.
friends.
Yeah, and now we've got their continuing adventures. Hey, so look, the last video we talked about episodes 1 through 4. Now we're going to cover 5, 6, and 7. To me, these episodes are probably the best ones in the whole first season. I think the first 4 were kind of because the first 4 were just kind of getting going, and then we'll talk about my problems with episode 10 later when we get to that one in the next video. But yeah, to me, this was kind of when the show really got good. We got some more background from Johnny, which we'll explore in a little bit, maybe. We got some background from Johnny. We got a bunch of things. But before we go any further, we actually have a word here from President Joseph Biden.
Really?
Yeah, Joe Biden is here.
My.
Well, look, this is a serious channel, and he's got some things that he wants to say because he's the unifier.
Indeed.
He is pulling the country together, right?
Clearly.
He's, getting us away from these horribly low gas prices and the lack of inflation that we had and, all the things that we were suffering through.
Right.
Yes. Remember when like we had those peace treaties with Trump? Well, we're over that now. We're going to get
sucks.
past. Right. We don't need that. So yeah, without further ado, let's bring up President Joe Biden. Here you go, President Biden. Go ahead and say something here to my audience here. Many of you have already subscribed, and by doing so, you are keeping each other safe, and you are helping to keep the channel safe. But I am losing my patience.
Oh my goodness.
With those of you, well, he's serious, this guy, who have not yet subscribed to this channel. You must subscribe. Just get subscribed. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Biden.
Yeah,
That's kind of creepy.
Thanks for showing up,
I
Mr.
guess.
President.
Oh, that's a shitty way to go about trying to get subscribers and telling people that they must subscribe. I mean, that's kind of.
Who does he think he is? He lost his patience.
I'm not sure. You don't tell Americans that you've lost your patience. You're losing your patience with them.
Right?
That's a really shitty thing to say.
Not presidential at all.
No, that's very unpresidential. What an asshole.
We're honored by his visit, though.
Well, not really. I mean, I like that he's trying to help the channel. Why would someone else subscribing make it so someone else's subscription stays? You know what I mean? I don't really understand that. Like, if you're subscribed, right?
Faulty math.
So why is he saying that you'd have to be subscribed so that everyone else stays subscribed? I don't understand that either, but all right, well, let's move on. Let's move on. Listen.
Back to Johnny and Daniel.
Yeah, episode 4 ended on a real cliffhanger. Johnny, Daniel had just found out that Johnny was the one who painted the dick on his billboard. And so for a while, he kind of suspected Tom Cole.
He did.
Then they weren't sure. I kind of got the impression maybe they just thought it could have been any random person. But he found out for real from Cousin Louie that, in fact, this was Johnny that did this. And to make it worse, Johnny took a dump while he was up there, which really didn't help. What did he use to wipe? Oh, man. Anyway, so that was a cliffhanger from episode 4. And now episode 5 begins with that great montage. Very Rocky IV style.
It was good. It was so good.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
The first time we saw it, I didn't know if that was like a joke montage at first or serious. Because it was hard to kind of get to calibrate to this show and to figure out the tone at first. I couldn't tell, like, are they kidding when they kick into 80s music? Or are they trying to just be serious and reminiscent of the films? I don't know.
Yeah, and I will just make a little digression right here to just say the soundtrack is the bomb. I love the soundtrack, and I'll leave it at that because I love the 80s music.
Well, I don't know. It wasn't long then before Daniel had that dinner with Armand, and that is a legendary dinner.
That is fun. That dinner is fun.
It's a good time, but it's legendary for so many fucking reasons. Like, for one, there was a lot of ball scratching going on.
Right.
You scratch my balls, I scratch your balls. And also we got to see more of Devious Daniel. This is where we're really seeing, starting back in episode 4, we start to really see Daniel become just devious and scheming against Johnny. And I don't blame him. He's not starting the fight, but, well, he kind of is actually, but he doesn't think he is. Usual Daniel. He doesn't think he's starting a fight, but he kind of is.
Yes.
So sort of interesting how he handled that. Now, he had the dinner with Armand, and he wants Armand to sell him. And he very manipulatingly got to the point of like, oh, well, maybe you can just sell me that real estate. So I thought that whole fucking thing was interesting.
And even that was a manipulation.
Yeah.
He had no intention of buying anything. He didn't want to buy it.
That's what I mean. There's like not one thing out of Daniel that's honest with anybody. He's lying to the family all the time. He's so much shit with Daniel.
He is a liar.
Yep, he's definitely a liar. So that was fun. And then once we bounced back over to Johnny, we had a lot of good stuff there too. I really liked episode 5 a lot. Remember, this is where Johnny realizes like he becomes a little bit more of a round character. He realizes that he does need to let girls in Cobra Kai, right? even though they have tiny hollow bones in his words.
Yes.
Tiny hollow bones.
That's what he said.
Johnny, that was great. So we also, you know what else? We had the first time drug use on the show.
Right.
Like episode 4 had given us the first time F-bomb, which it happens very little on the show, and same with drug use. But yeah, this is the first time we actually got some drug use. Yeah, that was
smoking in the car.
That was an interesting choice. I thought that was good.
Not cigarettes.
No, but remember we had Johnny smoke weed in the first film, right? Isn't that what he was doing in the bathroom?
Yes.
So we had a little bit of that in the past.
I mean, he was rolling.
He was rolling. All right, so he didn't smoke, but he was up to it. Yeah, not bad. So we got that for the first time, and then we got. I tell you, Kyler is such a good villain.
Yeah,
I think that kid's a great actor. When he assaults someone physically, it really looks real. You know, he does a very good job, and also the date with him and Sam, I thought was great.
Yeah,
I love that. I love what Sam ended up doing, and I love the way he was such a typical asshole when the whole thing was done. When he started making up that story about her sucking his cock, you know, and right on the heels of Daniel with the dick in the mouth, the billboards,
right?
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, the I can't remember the actor's name who plays Kyler, but he does that role very well because that kid, I don't like that kid.
No, I have to remind myself.
I'm sure the actor is a very nice guy.
Yeah, he's probably completely fine, like harmless, but on the show, he's such a good actor.
But
he's so brutal.
Oh, I don't like him.
That's yucky. Remember Moon?
Yeah.
So
Moon.
So not good. Shannon dates yet another couple more cheese dick. Listen, I can't watch Shannon go on dates anymore. When Robbie's mom Shannon goes on dates,
it's painful.
It's awful. These guys, the actors nail it too. They couldn't be bigger douchebags. Mm-hmm. They're always talking about their jobs and really boring shit about their jobs. Yeah. And the one guy took so much pride. He's like, "Hey, you got to be an alpha to work at whatever." Like these guys live in such a little bubble of just lameness and just mediocrity that they're living in this little bubble. And to them, this is awesome, right? This is how they make their living. They're there probably 60 hours a week. But it's an odd thing.
You start to see the toll that it takes on Robbie, though.
Yeah, he did a great job with that. Buchanan's another great actor. There's a lot of great talent on this show.
Yes.
Yeah, he did a really great job. And you're right, we get to really see how it's starting. I think like his patience is wearing thin. You know, he's like,
right.
Like Robbie's starting to go from just dealing with it all to really wanting some solutions at home, I think.
He's starting to seek the things that are lacking in his life.
Yeah, not bad. It's good, and he's starting to work towards it. And I think because there's this little inkling from his dad, where Johnny's kind of reaching out a little bit and trying to talk with Robbie more, and trying to help out more than he has in the past. Then I think that's making Robbie also want to connect more with his mom and just kind of figure out like, what is this? Should I be with my dad? Should I be hanging out with my mom? How come he's making all these excuses for his mom and none for Johnny? Yeah, is how I see Robbie. Yeah, it's like he really covers his mom really well because he loves her, but he's kind of realizing she's not that great a parent either. And my dad is actually starting to reach out and starting to seemingly want to help. Now, another great thing that happened in season 5 or in episode 5. I keep saying season in episode 5.
Episode 5
is that Johnny made his first of many trips to the pawn shop.
Oh yeah,
and for the first time ever, we get to meet this pawn shop guy.
Yeah. A fan favorite.
He's completely a fan favorite. It's an Atari. I love this guy. This guy is so condescending.
Yeah.
He runs a pawn shop, and even he shits on Johnny.
Yeah.
Like Johnny walks in, and the guy just treats him like garbage, and Johnny has no fucking clue what he's doing. You know, Johnny's so just abstract in terms of what the value of these things are to him or to anyone else. So I love that. I love the whole It's an Atari thing. That's fantastic. And also, this is where we start really seeing dark Daniel. Not just scheming Daniel, but dark. Like at that corner store when Daniel walks in and Johnny's there. The timing on this is impeccable, by the way. The way whenever Daniel shows up somewhere, Johnny's there. You know, we see more of this in season 2. But all the coincidences, the restaurants, the lows. It's always they seem to be on the same schedule.
Yeah, this one was not a coincidence, though. I mean, he clearly manipulated that as well.
Did he know Johnny would be in the corner store at that time? I don't think he did.
Well, it's not established, but the way that it plays out, it definitely feels to me like Daniel had to have been lying in wait. He knows that that Johnny hangs out there and there's beer there, so put two and two together, and I think Daniel just really had the whole plan to confront him.
That's fair. That's fair. He definitely, without a question, Daniel went in there with a very, like, he'd schemed it. He'd planned it all out. He knew just what he was going to say. Like he had a script put together.
Yeah, he was very cruel.
Yeah. And the way he said, he's like, he knew Johnny was going to be getting a beer, which is funny. And then he said, what the fuck did Daniel say? He's like, yeah, I'll pay for this guy's beer here too. And, by the way, I don't need the spray. The spray paint was really interesting. Yeah. Daniel ordered the spray paint. Yeah. The guy says he's going to go in the back to get it. Yeah. And then when he brought it up front to give it to Daniel, Daniel says, I won't actually be using the spray paint anymore. So what was that?
I'll just take this gum and put this man's beer on my tab. He looks like he's had a bad day. Just a really snarky, mean,
snarky as fuck
comment.
What an asshole! I would, in full disclosure, I would do that though too. You got to remember, just because Daniel's hitting harder, he's striking harder, doesn't mean that it's not deserved.
No, but it's not proportional. That's the problem that I have with that.
But I don't care about proportional all the time. But I get that. From Daniel's perspective, Johnny started this whole fucking thing. And like he did. And there's many ways to spin it where Johnny did. So, yeah, I don't know. I really dig that a lot. I dig, even though it's evil Daniel, I still kind of side with him on this.
I don't.
Because he's flexing his fucking muscles.
I absolutely don't.
Yeah, why not?
Well, as I said, it's not proportional. I mean, he went and manipulated a rent hike, not just for Johnny, but for everybody else in that.
The guy drew a dick on my face.
And a dick on a billboard does not warrant a whole bunch of people now having to pay double rent.
Well, first of all, those people at any point could have been, they were getting a deal because Armand didn't realize that. Armand could have woken up any day. And it's just good business advice to tell Armand, hey, you should be charging more money.
My word.
Well, seriously, I mean, they were just getting a deal on the rent. It doesn't mean they deserve that deal. It's just Armand wasn't keeping track of it. That's all. So that's legit. Besides, the guy drew a dick on my face. Voice of reason. I mean, he drew a dick. I love this. This is another thing I love here. In episodes 4 and 5, we get a lot of Daniel starting to say this.
Yeah.
Like, I wish they'd carried it into seasons 2 and 3. I wish it would still come up. Mm-hmm. The guy drew a dick. And it's just so funny every time he brings it up. Never in a million years, when I was a kid watching Karate Kid over and over and over again, never did I think that one day we'd see footage of Johnny drawing a dick on Daniel's face on a billboard. Yeah. It's the fucking greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Well, more good shit happened in these episodes. We got to talk about how Miguel did the biggest thing ever. He defended Sam and whipped all 4 or 5. I don't know how many guys there are exactly.
Yeah.
But he whipped their ass.
I tell you, when he takes that final swing at Kyler in that fight, I just go, woo!
Oh, hang on. We got to, let's take a call. We got a caller coming in.
Oh, caller?
Yeah, I guess we got a call. You want to take it real quick? Kyler in Irvine, you are on the air. Yeah, man, I don't know what you're talking about. He didn't win that fight. What do you mean he didn't? You're saying Miguel didn't win? Right, Miguel didn't win the fight against those guys that were in there. That wasn't him that won. They won. Those guys won.
This is the Kyler?
Yeah, who is this? Kyler in Irvine. What are you? Who are you exactly? What are you to the show? Don't worry about it, dude. Look, all I know is Miguel did not win that fucking fight. The footage on the camera was skewed and the acoustics were bad and it looked like that. But we won that fight. I mean, those guys won that fight.
Kyler, you went down pretty hard.
Kyler, what? This is Kyler from the fight. Kyler, look. Dude, I don't know what to tell you. You guys really lost big time. Bullshit, dude. It's just the camera angles. All right, you know what? Let's get this guy off the fucking phone.
Yeah, we have other things to move on to.
You got to get off the phone. Sorry, click. Goodbye. Yeah, he's gone. What an asshole.
How did he get our number?
I don't know. What a prick. What an absolute prick. All right, no more calls today then. I don't want to hear any more about this bullshit. And the guy's a fucking liar. He's telling everyone that Sam blew him. He is
also a liar.
At best, she jiggled his balls around for a few minutes during the film. At best.
It could happen.
Maybe he did the popcorn surprise on her. Did you ever think of that?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, look, all I know, he beat Kyler, Brooks, nameless kid number 1, nameless kid number 2. He really whipped their fucking ass.
That brings up another good point. There's several kids in this whole series that I still don't know their names.
And we never do get to find out their names.
Yeah.
How about the fact that way back in episode 1, the kid who was even mouthier than Kyler for a little bit was that tall kid in the gray shirt. He was really mouthing off a lot to Johnny. Remember that?
I don't.
Well, it's back in episode 1. He's mouthing off a lot to Johnny, and he was the first one Johnny beat up before Johnny actually beat up Kyler.
In the parking lot?
No, it wasn't really a parking lot. I guess it was. Whatever that little area in front of the convenience store. I guess it was a parking lot. Yeah. Johnny, when he beat those kids up, I don't think we ever see that kid again. So he's just kind of gone from the picture. But
I think he got brain damage from that.
Yeah, right. I think he just knew to stay away after that. I think he's like, you know what, guys, I'm done fucking around. I'm going to devote my life to Christ or something and just get out of this whole thing. Oh, man. Yeah, so this was good. This was very good to see these kids get their asses whooped. And I love the way they celebrate. Johnny gave him his gi. Remember that? He gave Miguel his me. That was great. Moment. Yeah, that was really cool. Robbie saw the whole thing. And speaking of Robbie also gets very devious and sneaky, just like he's like a LaRusso. Because when
Right.
Robbie goes in when he goes in to get that job at LaRusso Auto, he's got that big shit-eating grin on his face. And Amanda's like, "You sure you want to do this? You know, maybe you could like be a professional clown for a living, or you could go to college and get laid more or something." And what does he say? He's like, "Oh no, I'm just where I need to be." This kid is so determined just to make his dad feel bad a little bit, that he wants to go get this job working for LaRusso Auto and be this deceptive. It's weird, right? It's very, he's scheming almost as much as Daniel is.
Definitely.
And like he's as much of a stalker or more. So that's kind of surprising too from Robbie. We also, do you notice Robbie goes through a lot of changing here too? In the first couple episodes, if you saw Robbie, he had like a Misfits shirt. He was really rock and rolled out. And now slowly over time here, they've made him, his character's not changing, not yet, but they're changing the way he dresses more and more. His hair's not slicked back anymore. And he's just looking more like a regular kid and not so much like a rebel. Yeah. And that's weird because they set him up a different way. But
yeah, and we don't have any more references to drug use for him.
None.
In the very first moment that we're introduced to Robbie, it's because he got caught with Molly.
Oh, is that some chick he's hooking up with? Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the last time we hear of any, not that I want him to continue using drugs, but it matched the look that he had when in that first scene. And then we didn't really see either of those elements anymore.
Well, let's talk episode 6. So finally, Kreese shows up, but only in an old flashback, right? When they use, and that was interesting to me because the first time we saw this, I thought, wait a minute, I think that really is Martin Cove, even though they didn't show his face. I thought, like, that does seem like a modern day Martin Cove. So if they got the actor to come on the show and do a flashback, are we going to see him? I mean, as long as he's involved, why not use him now, right? So I do remember at that episode, I did start to think to myself, we're actually maybe going to see him. And then they continued to kind of flirt with that and hint a little bit more, but still didn't change the big reveal we'd get in episode 10. But yeah, so that was good. We saw Kreese in that flashback. We saw more of young Johnny and his motivations. I like that. A little bit of a Johnny origin story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then we got to see some of Johnny's greatest insults in this episode.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there were a lot. Johnny was already mean in the first 5, but now in episode 6, he's especially mean. You know? Oh, by the way, nice shirt.
Nice shirt?
Yeah, nice shirt.
Thank you.
I'm joking. It sucks. See, that's one of the many things that Johnny said. He keeps
like, what are we doing?
That kid's tits and everything. I mean, he was just, everybody's fat to Johnny. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Oh, man. So, let's see. We got Johnny going like back in time, you know, in his memories and all that shit. And now we're seeing how that affects him with the kids these days and how he was a loser too. So he starts to relate to them a little bit. So that's cool. The kids are getting tougher. Johnny's getting a little softer in a way.
Yeah.
And that's all nice. And that shit all comes together really well. Hey, how about next time Dimitri? By the way, Dimitri's a riot in these. We haven't talked about him yet.
Yeah, he's another one of my favorite characters.
Oh, he's such a fucking riot, that kid. He's so, like, the scene where Miguel says to him, well, what's the worst thing that can happen with doing karate? What, you'll build confidence? And he's like, yeah, I don't want that. Dimitri's afraid that if he gets confident. The weird thing is I've known guys like Dimitri.
I'm comfortable in my depression.
Yeah. Oh, that was such a great line too. But my favorite scene is when Dimitri and Miguel are walking through the hallway at school and they run into Kyler and he's by himself. He's uncharacteristically without his stupid friends. And he's all beaten up. And again, that kid's so good. That fucking actor's so good. He had a look on his face. And I think he had a black eye too, but he had such a look on his face of like, God, this kid felt low. You know, I mean, he felt low. There was no coming back from what fucking happened to that kid. Here he is on the phone again. Should we take this? Oh my God.
It's your phone.
What is it, Kyler in Irvine? Go ahead. Dude, it wasn't even me. Oh my God. Now we got to listen to this shit. Wasn't even, of course it was. Dude, no, listen to me. Dude, I got a twin brother. Oh, here we go with the twin brother. You know what? Goodbye, Kyle. I'm not going to.
Kyler's tenacious. I'll give him that.
You're just goodbye. You got your ass whooped. Goodbye. What an asshole. I'm not taking any more calls the rest of this whole thing.
Yeah, let's not.
Seriously, I'm done with the phone calls. But yeah, that look that he gave was incredible. He looked so beaten down, so embarrassed. Like he couldn't even go down that hallway. He just looked like such a fucking dickhead. And we got Daniel training Sam, which I think is kind of cool. Not training her yet, but we had that little flashback and we got him talking to her more about doing karate. And I dig that whole thing too. I like that we see it slow. They really took their time there, slowly bringing that together to getting her back up to training with Daniel.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, she's not as mini-me anymore. You know, he can't just dress her up and teach her tricks like he used to.
Right.
So those days are gone.
I hate when that happens.
We got one more episode. Let's talk episode 7, then we'll wrap this up, okay? All right, episode 7. This was the big one, right? This is the big thing. This, to me, was huge in season 1. We find out that Cobra Kai is actually banned from the tournament. And it's from the events in season 3. Or what am I saying? Season 3.
Yeah,
in the third movie. Karate Kid Part 3. Do you think that was brilliant?
It was, and it was a little surreal in that episode to hear them even mention the names Terry Silver and Mike Barnes.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because going into the show, I know the producers did say that they were going to acknowledge all the shows and that it would, or other movies, I mean, and that it would be a connection to them. But I had no idea. I really thought it would be really top heavy for the first film. And then when they started referencing the second film early on, you know, we got a lot of references to Karate Kid Part 2 early on. I thought, oh, okay, well, Karate Kid Part 2 gets referenced. They're going to leave out the third one because that was a pretty objectively bad movie as far as, well, you guys have our review already, but, you know, to a lot of people, that was a pretty objectively bad movie. That it's more of a guilty pleasure than anything else if you like it. Yeah. So it was a thrill to me too. To actually hear them say Terry Silver, Mike Barnes, I thought, wow, they went as far as to include their names when they didn't have to. And to me, that was interesting to throw in their names. It really kind of clued me in that they're going to try to take that third movie and make you remember it better, you know? Yeah. Even though I loved it, that they're going to try to get people they're going to use it wholly and not kind of apologize for it or try to ignore it. So that was really cool. And then I love this dueling evening where Johnny has to go to the annual meeting they had for the All Valley tournament, and while Miguel's on that date with Sam.
The date that was not a date. Right.
Yeah, it's not a date. It's just her getting on top of them and lining up their crotches just right once their genitals are fully intact.
That's how
plants a not a kiss on them.
Dates usually go.
Yeah, that's not a date, all right. So way to go, Miguel. So fucking so I dig Johnny being there. I love that he brought a briefcase that was empty just to have a briefcase. That was like Miguel said, nice touch. That was really good. And what else? That Daniel had never been better to me. That the best Daniel you're ever going to get up until season 3, which we'll talk about soon. But up until season 3, the best Daniel lines ever are in this episode, don't you think?
At the meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, from the second Daniel enters. Remember how Daniel entered? He entered completing a sentence for Johnny. They're like, oh, well, now what tournament, what they said, what dojo are you with? And he goes, oh, Cobra Kai. Like, you know, he walked in and finished the sentence for Johnny. And then Daniel was just treating Johnny like garbage. He couldn't have been more condescending. He couldn't have been more of a snarky asshole. Oh, completely. It was the greatest. Daniel was such a prick to Johnny the whole time. I loved it. And Johnny's just like clenching his fist. He's furious. Yeah. That was another brilliant scene. It was. Like, I just love that whole thing. And especially when Daniel, what did he do? When it wasn't a Sensei Lawrence thing, but it was something similar when Daniel's like, oh, yeah, okay, goodbye. Go wait outside. Go wait outside.
Yeah.
It's something about having to go wait outside. He's like, okay, yeah, goodbye. Daniel's great. Ralph Macchio is so fucking great in this role.
Yes.
He captures so well just just a condescending, arrogant little guy Daniel has always been.
Mm-hmm.
So perfect. So perfect. So yeah, I love that. I love that whole thing, right? The whole interaction there. And then the best is when they do send Johnny out, they say, we're going to take a vote. It's already crystal clear how the vote's going to go.
Exactly.
Daniel and George were completely vocal about, no, this is how we feel. Where the other three, first of all, I thought that chick was hot for Johnny too.
Yes.
Sue, I believe her name. Sue was very, Sue was practically taken out for top.
We need more men like you
right.
in the community.
She's like fondling her breast a little bit. I mean, she was just like ready.
Yeah.
And then Johnny goes into the hall and he comes back and he finds out he's won. So it's pretty clear what happened. You know what I mean? It's not a jury. It's a vote, and we knew exactly what went down. So yeah, that was fucking wicked. The episode was just great. And then of course for him to meet back up with Miguel and find out Miguel crushed it on the date.
Yeah.
And then now they were going to be in the tournament. I really dig when life offers you that kind of thing. When you and your buddy both get a major win, and you know the future's about to get a whole lot brighter.
Time to celebrate.
Yeah. Very, very good stuff. So fantastic few episodes. I think just about the best 3 of this whole season. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, very good shit. So listen, I know this is a spoiler review. We didn't even review it. We really just talked about all the scenes that were important.
We're just in the mood to talk about this because the season 4 is coming up.
Yeah, it's all that matters. So if any of you haven't seen this yet, if you're someone who hasn't bothered, I just ruined the whole fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what else to tell you, but yeah, watch this show. It's really a lot of fun. And I think the season is not nearly as dark as seasons 2 and 3, especially 3. It's not even close.
No.
So the show definitely gets progressively darker. Like I said in the last video, this season, you don't really know where it's going. Like how high the stakes will eventually get is not at all obvious. But it's just a fun ride. It's fun. Mm-hmm. It's more bubblegum. It's more of like kind of a teenage ride kind of show. So anyway, look, you guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. Remember,
thumbs up, please.
No one else's subscription will help them unless you are also subscribed. You know what I mean? So protect yourself, protect your friends, protect everybody by getting subscribed to this channel. It's the only way. Like Biden told you. And we'll see you guys next time, man. Comment below. Let us know your favorite scenes from episodes 5, 6, and 7. What do you think? Who's a bigger dick right now? Is Daniel being a bigger dick? Is Johnny being a bigger dick? Are they both justified? Let us know in the comments what's happening. And we'll see you guys in the next video.